One of the challenges that we have, because we do virtual reality, when we try to work in a scientific team, the main challenge is virtual reality, especially right now, is being portrayed in the media mostly as a gaming and entertainment technology. However, it is, of course, a technology much more powerful than that because it really immerses scientists in their data, and it gives them the ability to really not only see their data, but actually interact with their data. So for us, when we work with groups that have never been exposed to this, what usually works the best is very hard to verbally explain it to them. So what we typically do is almost a gradual engagement, where we spend some time understanding the science area that they are working on, and we start doing a slow, small prototypes that we say, hey, for example, if we're doing something related to molecular research, just simply the fact that we can get a molecule and put it immersed and have the scientists inside that molecule just looking around, that opens their mind tremendously. So our challenge is always that first experience.
Advanced VR visualization will be able to enable these researchers to interact with their research in a much more intimate way. And we could model those interactions. Right now they have very simple, static, two-dimensional images. What we can do is develop a three-dimensional model so that you can actually look at it and analyze it from different angles. It's amazing what you can discover just by moving an object just like a quarter of an inch.
What first drew me to virtual reality was the aspects of how you can blend engineering, art, and a little bit more of human social aspects. I finished my degree in computer engineering, and I was sort of trying to figure out what to do with my life, because even though I'd enjoy doing things like, for example, databases or just developing software in general, I was missing that kind of more human aspects in what I would like to do for the next, 20, 30 years. And then I intersected with a virtual reality exhibit in 1990, a long time ago. And I saw as a terrific platform for somebody like me that wanted to blend my knowledge in engineering, but also my interest and I guess almost drive on doing things that are more human and more artistic and more social. And that's what brought me into this field. I think the high-performance computing cloud that we're trying to build will bring a lot of benefits, not only to the scientists in Arkansas, but also to the general population of the state. We're putting together a very strong pool of deeply scientific data that then can be a source of raw information for all kinds of different aspects that the public might be interested on. We could distill that information that can service schools, for example, where we can explain some scientific concepts to children in a let's see, more simplified aspects of that. It could also be for there are many people out there that are just curious about some scientific phenomena, so that could be also a way for them to explore some of their curiosity. Informational, if there is something that the public needs to know about and be educated about. So I think there's going to be a wealth of information coming out of our HPC cloud.
The major benefit from the HPC cloud will be to enable researchers and educators to have access to amazing computational resources, and not just computational resources, but data across the globe.
So I think one of the most important things that my team is doing under the EPSCoR grant is trying to bring the high-end, larger-scale virtual reality that we do to a more widespread audience. One of the limitations that we have been having with this technology is that it's fairly expensive to acquire and also fairly complex to manage. So under the support of the EPSCoR program, we are trying to address those as an engineering problem and trying to re-engineer the technology and the infrastructure in a way that perhaps we can bring this to schools, to libraries, to museums. It certainly is not going to go to the home because we're not really focusing on consumer technology, but I think schools, for example, will benefit from having affordable, high-quality virtual environments with an infrastructure that allow them to do science educations, humanities educations, art education using this technology that is tremendously engaging.